This video is going to show you the best ways to fix into drywall plasterboard. I've got this mock-up of a stud wall here, some simple wooden studs with a sheet of plasterboard, very common wall to find in a house, and I'm going to show you what fixings are available on the market, how you can use them in different situations, and what the best ones to choose are. So, important first step, make sure you know exactly what sort of wall you're trying to fix to. This video is about fixing to a plasterboard stud wall. So that means that there's nothing behind the plasterboard. It's a hollow wall, you've got an open cavity there. So a lot of these fixings I'm going to demonstrate, will not work if there's something just the other side of the plasterboard. So it's important to find that out first. If you're not sure what it is, not sure what wall you're fixing to, click on the link, check out my other video, and that will help you determine exactly what sort of wall it is before you get started. Okay, so we know that fixings can be a little bit overwhelming. If you go into your hardware store and try and find something suitable, it can take a very long time to work out what you need to use. So today I'm going to show you how to use 4 different types of fixing. This one is a lightweight plastic fixing made by FISCHER. Another one I'm going to show you is this one made by RAWL. This is a dual purpose plug, so it can go in masonry as well. This is commonly called a hollow wall anchor, made by a number of different companies. I'm going to show you how to use this with and without a setting tool. And then this is called a TIMCO zip fix. This is a great fixing. This is about as strong as it gets in plasterboard. There's not really much you can't hang off these fixings. I'm going to show you how to use these. I'm going to show you what's happening behind the wall while I'm using these fixings, so you can see exactly how they work. So first thing I'm going to do is show you how to use these 2 lighter duty plastic plugs. I'm using a drill driver with an 8mm masonry bit, and I've already marked my wall. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to drill. Using it on fast speed. I'm then going to push the plug in. You can give that a tap with a hammer, but it seems to be going in fine. Check so all of the packets for the plugs, they're going to tell you exactly what size drill bit you need. They're also going to tell you a range of screws. And I'm going to fix one of our steel shelf brackets into the wall. And that's fully expanded behind the wall. It's nice and strong. Now for the FISCHER plug, all the way through to the other side. I'm going to pinch these first, put them in, and then push. Some nice sharp wings on that. It's going to stop that rotating as we fix in. Okay, now you can see what's happening behind the board. I'm going to take another bracket, fixing in nice and straight, keeping the screw really straight. Really important that the screw hits the back there, back of the plug. And really important that these aren't over tightened. You can see the fixing starting to knot up behind the bracket. So next I'm going to show you how to use the heavier duty fixings. This one's the hollow wall anchor. I'm going to show you how to put them in using this setting tool, and then I'm going to show you a little tip on how you can actually install these without the tool. It's a little bit more difficult, but if you want to avoid buying one of these, it's great. So I'm drilling my hole. going to push that in really tight, which is what we want. Then I'm going to loosen off that bolt. So then I hook the setting tool behind the bolt head, give it a good squeeze, and you can see the fixing expand behind the board. So then what I want to do is take the bolt out. I'm going to place the bolt through one of these brackets. There we go. That's a nice strong fixing. Okay, so to install that fixing without using the setting tool, you're going to need something. You could use the thing that you're trying to fit to the wall, whether it's a bracket or something like that, but you're going to need something to act as a bit of a stop. And then you're going to use the screw itself, the bolt itself, to expand the back part of the fixing. Okay, so I've taken the bolt out. I'm now going to do something slightly different, and I'm going to use a drill bit that's very slightly too small. So what I want to make sure is I've got a really tight hole that this is going into, because the risk of not using a setting tool is when we turn the bolt, it's going to want to spin in the plasterboard, and as soon as that starts to spin, you're never gonna get it to expand without using a setting tool. So what I'm also doing is I'm using a drill bit that isn't a masonry bit. It's going to give me a cleaner hole, and it's less likely to create a wider hole that's going to be problematic. So I've got a nice clean hole. It's a bit tight, and I'm pushing that in. You might need a hammer, but that's quite nice and tight. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to use something like this bracket. You can just about get away with using nothing, because there's this washer here that allows it to spin. Because what we want is the bolt to rotate, but we don't want this to rotate in the plasterboard. So I want to take this really gently and make sure that it doesn't strip out. So that's biting point, and now I'm going to start turning. And I'm going to keep turning, and at some point it's going to become very difficult to turn. And I don't want to overdo it. That's plenty, and I know it's expanded behind. Okay, next one I'm going to show you is the TIMCO zip fix. This is quite similar to this spring toggle fixing, and the spring toggle fixing works like so, pulls back behind the plasterboard. There's quite a disadvantage to these though, in that it's kind of a one-shot fixing. For example, if you were to install this bracket with 3 of these, not only would you have to attach them to the bracket and then put them all in at the same time, but you would also, if you wanted to take the bracket off, let's say you want to paint the wall in a year's time, you take the bracket off. As soon as these are unscrewed, this falls away inside the wall, so they'd have to be replaced, which is a bit frustrating. So if you wanted to move a fixing, or you realise, yeah, you've made a mistake, you're going to lose all these inside the wall. A bit frustrating. So again, these come in different sizes. Think about what you're fixing to the wall and check the hole size. So bear in mind that if this is too big, you're going to end up having to drill out the holes in whatever you're attaching to the wall. So I'm putting the fixing in, and then I'm pulling it back. I can see through the hole that that's nice and flat against the other side of the plasterboard, and I've also made sure that that's vertical. I think it's going to be a little bit stronger for me, and then I'm going to use this to tighten up back to the wall, and that's nice and tight. And what this plastic thing does is exactly the same as the spring toggle, but it's just going to make sure that the steel part behind the wall is not going to fall away. These you can then snap off, and this then goes into the metal bar behind and can be removed, put back in as you wish. Okay, now I'm going to fit my last bracket to the wall. I can do that up really nice and tight. Get a really strong fixing. Okay, now the fun bit. I'm going to see if I can pull these off the wall. Set up this nice big brace so I don't hurt myself. I better lock the wheels on my bench. The Fisher plastic plug. That's going to come out quite easily. Yeah, not bad for light duty purposes, but don't want anything too heavy on there. Next, the RAWL plug. This is all purpose as well, so it's quite handy to have for putting into concrete things. It's a bit more, quite a lot more resistance than the Fisher plastic plug. You can see this kind of makes this sort of bigger knot of plastic behind the board. And the hollow wall anchor kind. Let's see if this will take my weight. I doubt it. No. Yeah, it's taken a good chunk of plasterboard out. It's quite strong. And now the TIMCO zip fix. So I think it's fair to say that the TIMCO zip fix is by far the strongest fixing. It's taken quite a big chunk of plasterboard out. Okay, thanks for watching. If you found it helpful, help me out, hit the thumbs up, let me know if you've got any feedback, any questions, and check out some of the other videos we've got on the channel.